Welcome to the Love Story with Lisa channel. Today, we're bringing you a brand new story. She used my photos to seduce a married man. I was publicly shamed, cyberbullied, and died while running for my life. Introduction: my roommate used my photos to carry on an online relationship. She seduced a married man with children. The man's wife came all the way to our university. In front of everyone, she stripped me naked. After that, I was dragged through vicious cyberbullying. A few local thugs even began stalking me. To avoid being assaulted, I ran, and I fell into the river. I died there. But that roommate of mine went to the media and spread rumors, claiming I had committed suicide because I was infected with HIV. What she didn't know was this: when someone dies, they truly can become a ghost. That concludes the introduction. Now, please listen to the story. Today is the day of my burial. The mourning hall is vast, empty, and silent. From time to time, a few suppressed sobs echo faintly through the air. This is probably the coldest funeral our village has ever seen. No guests, no relatives offering help. Not even a single person to carry the coffin. A fine drizzle floats in the air. My mother wears a white rain cape. Her face is soaked. I can't tell whether it's rain or tears. She clutches my memorial portrait tightly against her chest. Her eyes are dull and hollow, as if someone has drained her soul completely. My older brother follows behind her, holding my urn. His shoulders are hunched, his back bent. It looks as if he has aged 10 years overnight. Now and then, villagers open their doors. When they see my mother and brother, they shrink back inside like mice spotting a cat, doors slamming shut behind them. My uncle stands outside his house, teeth clenched, about to step forward, but my aunt grabs him back. Go back inside. What are you going there for? Haven't we been humiliated enough? Xiao Shui died of HIV. Haven't you seen how people online are cursing her? Our son has been coming home crying after school these past few days. Have you forgotten? My uncle covers his face in anguish, but she's still my niece. My older brother asked me, before he died, to take care of them. Hearing that, my aunt pinches him viciously. Is our family the only relative they have? What about her mother's side? Not one of them came. And everyone in this village, we've shared the same ancestors for 3 generations. Every family is related in some way. Why isn't anyone else helping? Why must it be you? The front door slams shut. My mother only glances at it blankly before looking away. Clutching my portrait tighter, she lowers her head and walks into the cold drizzle with my brother. I want to follow them to the cemetery, but my body feels light, like a cloud, and the wind carries me away instead. Drifting toward the house of Liu Zhou at the head of the village. He's a local thug, and he's also my roommate's older brother. He's the kind of person everyone hates. Always stealing petty things, despised by both people and dogs alike. Right now, his house is crowded. Several men sit inside, smoking and gambling, turning the room into a haze of suffocating smoke. Isn't today the day Iris Jiang is being buried? One of them says, what kind of college student was she? Always rolling her eyes at us like she was too good. Looking down on us every time she saw us. Yeah, wasn't she just some cheap girl ridden by men anyway? Don't say that, another laughs crudely. She had a great figure. And those breasts? Damn. They grin lewdly. Liu Zhou pulls out his phone and opens a video he has saved for a long time. He pauses it at the exact moment when my clothes were torn off. My entire body begins to tremble. It feels as though I've been dragged back to that day, the day of terror and humiliation. It was a weekend, I went out to buy breakfast for my roommates, who were still sleeping in. The moment I stepped out of the dormitory building, a woman called out to me. "Are you Iris Jiang? You're Iris Jiang, right?" She looked to be in her 30s. Her eyes were sharp and burning with anger. She was tall and broad-shouldered, with dark skin. Two burly men stood behind her. I nodded. Before I could even ask who she was, she grabbed my hair. "I'll beat you to death, you shameless little fox." No sense of decency at all. Before I could react, two burning slaps struck my face. "Who told you to be a homewrecker? To seduce my husband? The gold necklace he bought you, that was my son's tuition money. You filthy, vicious slut. I'll strip you naked so everyone can see what kind of trash you really are." I was beaten dizzy. Someone nearby seemed about to step in to help, but after hearing her words, they all hesitated and stopped. One of the men behind her held a stack of printed papers, handing them out to the surrounding students. "These are all evidence. She's a university student, yet she seduced my brother-in-law, sending him sexy photos every single day. Absolutely shameless." My eyes burned red from the blows. I struggled desperately, trying to explain. "I don't even know you. I never seduced your husband. Let me go. I'm calling the police." That only made the woman angrier. "Still pretending? I'll rip your face apart if you keep acting." She was taller, heavier, and far stronger than me. I couldn't break free, especially with a man beside her helping to hold me down. And then, the man grabbed hold of my arms while the woman began tearing off my clothes. I've always been afraid of the heat, so that day I was only wearing a thin, long dress. She gave it a single hard tug, and the fabric ripped cleanly into two pieces. A crowd had already gathered. Many of them raised their phones and began recording. Shame and fury burned through me until my voice turned hoarse. "Let me go. This is illegal. I never seduced your husband." But the woman was beyond reason. Hearing me speak only enraged her further. She reached down and yanked at my underwear. "Beating up a mistress is illegal? Then seducing someone else's husband is illegal too." By the time campus security arrived, she had already stripped me completely naked. My face was swollen and bruised. At the police station, the woman remained arrogant. An officer handed me a phone, his expression complicated. "This is you, isn't it?" The WeChat profile picture and moments feed looked exactly like mine. Even the WeChat ID was identical, just with an extra punctuation mark added. The chat history inside was unbearable to read. The girl in those messages was bold, provocative, shamelessly enthusiastic. Every time she sent the man a photo of herself, she would ask for a gift in return. But those photos, they were all mine. Some were selfies I had posted on my moments. Others were pictures of my daily life inside the dormitory. The delivery address for the packages listed my name and my dorm address. Only the phone number attached to the account wasn't mine. The police explained it was a virtual number, something you could buy randomly online without real name verification. The more desperately I tried to explain, the more the woman refused to believe me. She insisted I was the mistress, that the WeChat account was just my alternate account. She was detained for beating and publicly humiliating me. The police said she could be charged with public insult, but her family on her side went mad with rage. They posted the entire chat history online, and the video of me being stripped naked spread like wildfire across the internet. Netizens exploded with anger. The mistress only got stripped, and the wife is the one being sentenced? The situation grew louder and uglier by the day. The internet was flooded with my videos and news about me. Every day, countless strangers called to curse at me. They sent funeral wreaths and dead rats to my house. It wasn't enough to insult me. They insulted my family too. My father died when I was young. My mother, who ran a small breakfast stall, raised my brother and me alone. Because of the harassment, her stall was forced to shut down. My brother's girlfriend broke up with him. But no matter how hard things became, I never once wanted to die. I tried everything to prove my innocence. I never imagined that heaven wouldn't even grant me the chance to live. On my way home, several thugs followed me. They had seen the videos and photos. They believed I was a loose woman. The leader blocked my path, his eyes filthy and mocking, pretending to be some innocent college girl. Huh? Don't worry, we won't play for free. You want a gold necklace, right? I can buy you one. Just be a little enthusiastic and have some fun with us. I ran as fast as I could, but I slipped and fell into the river. The thugs panicked and fled. My life stopped there, forever frozen at 18. My death only made the situation explode once more. My roommate, Chloe Zhou, wearing a mask, accepted an interview from the media. She claimed that I had wanted to die for a long time, not because of cyberbullying, but because I knew I had HIV. Hatred spread inside me like wild weeds. Liu Zhou suddenly stood up, startled. What the hell is that? The door was blown open by a violent gust of wind. The light above swayed wildly. The magazines on the table began flipping their pages on their own. Someone walked to the window and reached out to pull it shut, then froze. Brother Leo. The windows still closed. Liu Zhou swallowed hard. His small eyes darted around in fear. Damn it. Stop talking. He grabbed his things. I'm going to Jiangzhou to see my sister today. I'm leaving first. Jiangzhou University. After I died, I had always tried to return to campus. But no matter what I did, I couldn't leave the village. I wanted to ask Chloe Zhou, why did she say I had HIV? We were from the same village. Our relationship wasn't close, but we had no grudges either. Why would she fabricate something like that about me? Being a ghost was nothing like I had imagined. It was completely different. I wasn't some powerful vengeful spirit from the movies. I couldn't even touch the corner of a living person's clothes, let alone find the culprit and avenge myself. There had been 3 other girls in the dorm besides me. Yet until the day I died, I still didn't know who had secretly taken those photos of me. Liu Zhou packed his things and left the house with a black umbrella. I chased after him, and finally discovered I could cling to the umbrella. Like that, I followed him onto the bus and, at last, made it back to campus. This afternoon, there were no classes. Everyone in the dormitory was there. One was watching a movie. Another was reading. My death seemed to have no impact on them at all. Chloe Zhou, did you see Ethan Shin's moments? Nina Zhang sat on her bed, scrolling through her phone, leaning halfway over the edge of the bunk. Her round face wore the look of someone watching a good show unfold. At that moment, I was standing right behind Chloe Zhou. She frowned slightly and opened her phone. Ethan Shin had posted a photo, black and white chrysanthemums. Beneath it, a single line, safe travels. I hope heaven has no rumors. My heart shook violently. Chloe Zhou's face darkened. She flung her phone onto the desk. Has Ethan Shin gone blind? Everyone in this school knows Iris Jiang was a mistress. What's he pretending to be clear-headed for? Nina Zhang nodded along. Iris Jiang really was something. She's already dead, and the top student in our department is still speaking up for her. Could it be she and Ethan Shin were dating? Chloe Zhou shot to her feet, furious. Her small eyes narrowed into thin slits. Don't talk nonsense. How could Ethan Shin ever date that little vixen? He was just deceived by Iris Jiang. Everyone in the dorm knew Chloe Zhou liked Ethan Shin. Although Ethan Shin and I were in the same class, we rarely spoke. I never expected that after I died, aside from my family, he would be the only one who believed in me. Chloe Zhou's anger made Nina Zhang squint in amusement, whether Ethan Shin liked Iris Jiang or not. Isn't this just like in those novels? What's that phrase again? Oh right, white moonlight. The whole world doubts you, but I alone believe in you. So touching. The atmosphere in our dorm had always been strange. There were only 4 of us, yet there were countless little group chats between different combinations of people. Small frictions everywhere. Good today. Bad tomorrow. Not long ago, Nina Zhang and Chloe Zhou had been so close they practically wanted to wear the same pair of pants. But these past few days, they seemed completely at odds. Every word like oil poured onto flames. Vivian Wang, you're still reading? Nina clicked her tongue. Vivian closed her book with a snap. Talking about the dead all the time. Aren't you afraid it's bad luck? I stared darkly at her pale, delicate face. A tidal wave of hatred rose inside me. In the dorm, Vivian Wang and I had once been the closest. That day, I left the dorm because she had stomach cramps from her period. I went downstairs to buy her food. After I died, she finally tore off her mask of morality and revealed her true face. Vivian rubbed her arms and frowned as she walked toward the balcony. That's strange. Why did it suddenly get so cold? The last time at Liu Zhou's house, I had discovered something. Anger and hatred strengthened me. Clearly, none of them truly wanted to talk about me anymore. Nina Zhang fell silent and went back to her movie. Chloe Zhou resumed scrolling through her phone with a serious expression. The dorm wasn't large. By the entrance stood a row of lockers. Across from them was the bathroom. Further inside were our beds, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. The dorm beds were the kind with a bed on top and a desk and wardrobe underneath. I drifted into the lockers, checking them one by one. The person who secretly photographed me must have had 2 phones. After the incident, she probably disposed of one. But judging from the chat history, that man, Mr. Lee, had given her many gifts. Gold necklaces. Gold rings. Gold earrings. All kinds of gold jewelry. I rummaged through every compartment in the dorm. There was no gold. Nina Zhang was immersed in her movie, crying one moment and laughing the next. Vivian Wang was focused on reading. She had always studied diligently. I could only stand behind Chloe Zhou and watch her play with her phone. She was messaging Ethan Shin. Chloe Zhou, Ethan, what did you mean by your moment's post? Were you talking about Iris Jiang? Actually, she was very calculating. I don't want to see you get deceived by her. Do you know she had more than a dozen boyfriends at the same time? The last message failed to send. Ethan Shin had blocked her. Chloe Zhou let out an angry cry. She had fallen for Ethan Shin at first sight on the very first day of school. She even declared in the dorm that she would pursue him. But Ethan Shin was cold by nature, almost indifferent. He never accepted any gifts from Chloe Zhou. He barely even looked at her. Still, she refused to give up. She believed men like Ethan Shin were simply hard to win over. But once you captured their hearts, they would treasure their girlfriends like jewels in the palm of their hands, as if afraid even the stars in the sky couldn't compare. After hearing her bold goal, Nina Zhang and Vivian Wang had created a private 2-person group chat. mocking Chloe Zhou daily for wanting to eat swan meat. Chloe Zhou wasn't pretty. She didn't have Vivian Wang's snow-white skin, nor Nina Zhang's cute face. Her skin was dark, her eyes small like beans, and her nose slightly flat. Because of that, she had often been ridiculed by classmates when she was young. The boys in class had given us nicknames. They called me Snow White. They called her Toad Princess. Perhaps that was why Chloe Zhou hated me. That phone, it was probably hers. Forget it. I was a ghost. I wasn't the police. I didn't need to investigate like solving a case. Besides, all three of them deserved to die. After I died, all three of them accepted interviews from reporters. Chloe Zhou said I was sick. Nina Zhang said I liked having multiple boyfriends at the same time. Vivian Wang said I only liked befriending boys in our class. Three people become a tiger. Gold melts under slander. Just like that, even after death, I was branded a promiscuous slut. Ghosts don't need sleep. The dorm lights were off. I lay beside Chloe Zhou, watching her scroll through her phone. She was browsing posts online. Posts filled with insults about me. Every now and then, someone would comment, "Anyone have the video?" She would eagerly add that person as a friend and send over the saved videos from her phone. That day, so many people had recorded the spectacle. Videos from all angles. She sent them one by one, patiently, almost as if she were afraid they wouldn't see clearly enough what I looked like without clothes. A girl that pretty, with a body like that, and she still became a mistress. Her classmates said she had HIV. That's terrifying. Look at her face, definitely plastic surgery. Girls like that live off their looks. Her chest must be fake too. No way. She looked so innocent. Could this all be a misunderstanding? Occasionally, someone would speak up for me. Chloe Zhou's fingers would fly across the keyboard, as if she wished she could crawl into the screen and curse that person face to face. So she hated me that much. In the horror films I had watched, they said ghosts could gather 18 forms of misfortune: poverty, decline, disaster, suffering, bad luck, illness. I couldn't kill them, but I could probably make them unlucky, right? I leaned close and breathed into her mouth. Chloe Zhou shivered. Soon, drowsiness overwhelmed her. She tossed her phone aside and fell asleep. The dorm grew quiet. I realized my strength had increased significantly since leaving Liu Zhou's house. When I concentrated all my power, I could touch things. I floated off the bed and drifted toward Chloe Zhou's desk. Just then, Nina Zhang climbed down from her bed and headed into the bathroom. Crash! A glass cup fell to the floor and shattered with a piercing sound. Chloe Zhou shot upright in bed. Seeing her cup broken, she immediately scrambled down. Nina Zhang. Pay for my cup. Nina widened her eyes. I didn't touch your cup. It fell by itself. Are you crazy? A cup that big just fell on its own? They had already been dissatisfied with each other. Now the argument exploded. Ugly words poured out endlessly, as if they cost nothing. They looked ready to fight to the death. Stop arguing. If you keep this up, I'll call the dorm supervisor. It's the middle of the night. Let people sleep. Vivian Wang climbed down coldly and pulled them apart. The three fell silent. Still furious, they climbed back into bed, watching dogs bite dogs. How entertaining. After they fell asleep, I floated into the bathroom. I poured Vivian Wang's facial cleanser, Nina Zhang's toothpaste, and their shampoo into the toilet. Fight harder. My revenge had only just begun. Chloe Zhou, what do you mean by this? Vivian Wang's family background wasn't good, but she loved showing off. She bought skincare and cosmetics with money saved from skipping meals. Nina Zhang's face was equally dark as she grabbed Chloe Zhou's arm. Pay up. My cleanser cost over 100 yuan. I haven't even used it yet. Chloe Zhou stared in disbelief, then her face flushed purple with rage. What do you mean? Why are you blaming me? Vivian Wang gritted her teeth so hard they almost cracked. Only your stuff wasn't touched. If it wasn't you, then who? These three were truly boring. They argued loud enough to lift the roof off, yet none of them actually threw a punch. Fine, I'd give them a push. When Chloe Zhou turned to leave, I shoved her hard from behind. Ah! She screamed and fell to her knees. Both knees and elbows split open, blood seeping out. Vivian Wang clutched her stomach and laughed. Serves you right. Ugly people get their karma. When Iris Jiang was in the dorm, you were jealous of her looks, prettier than you. Every day in the group chat, you badmouthed her. Now that she's gone, you're jealous of us too. The uglier you are, the more trouble you make. So, the three of them even had another group chat behind my back. They resumed arguing fiercely, yet Chloe Zhou still refused to hit them. She only glared hatefully before limping off to class. I was still too weak. If I wanted revenge, I had to make them fight until blood flowed. I had suffered humiliation and pain. They would have to experience it all, every bit, before the hatred in my heart could be extinguished. Ethan Shen. Ethan Shen. Chloe Zhou suddenly looked up at a figure ahead and hurried toward him. The young man's back was tall and straight. He wore a black and white sports outfit. Broad shoulders. Long legs. Perfect proportions. He heard her call, but didn't turn around. Not until Chloe Zhou grabbed his sleeve. Ethan Shen immediately stepped back in disgust. In his clear, refined eyes flickered impatience. What is it? Chloe Zhou stared at his face in infatuation, even as he lifted his foot, ready to walk away. Only then did Chloe Zhou bite her lip and speak. Why did you block me yesterday? Ethan Shen let out a faint laugh. Because I don't want to hear a dog bark. Ethan Shen. Chloe Zhou stamped her foot in fury. I couldn't help laughing out loud. Because of what had happened that morning, Chloe Zhou had completely fallen out with Vivian Wang. She ate alone, went to class alone. Whenever she saw the other two, she simply glared at them. I felt a little troubled. Even as a ghost, I couldn't split myself in two. Now that they had separated, I could only keep an eye on one person at a time. Chloe Zhou ran off to an internet cafe to play games. I sat beside her for a while. Seeing how absorbed she was, I returned to the dorm. The relationship between Vivian Wang and Nina Zhang wasn't that good to begin with. But now that they shared a common enemy, they had grown closer instead. I can't swallow this anger, Nina Zhang snapped, tossing her bag onto the desk, chest heaving. We have to teach Chloe Zhou a lesson. Vivian Wang looked even angrier. She kicked hard at the ladder of Chloe Zhou's bed. That bitch. Bang! Chloe Zhou's bed shook violently. Something fell from the bed board above. It was a dark red velvet pouch. Judging by the weight of the sound, whatever was inside was heavy. Curious, Vivian Wang picked it up and opened it. The moment she saw what was inside, her body stiffened. In the velvet pouch lay a dazzling gold bracelet. It wasn't very thick. Half of it was smooth, the other half was carved with lotus patterns. I recognized it instantly. It was the bracelet Mr. Li had given. Price, 15,888 yuan. Clearly, Vivian Wang and Nina Zhang recognized it too. Nina stared at it in shock. Chloe Zhou stole Iris Zhang's things? Vivian Wang said nothing. Her eyes darkened. She carefully put the bracelet away, then climbed up onto Chloe Zhou's bed and searched thoroughly. Earlier, I had checked the entire dorm carefully. At that time, there had been no gold bracelet. Obviously, Chloe Zhou had hidden it elsewhere before. In the past few days, seeing that the public attention had died down, she must have secretly brought it back. So the one who stole my photos to carry out that online affair really was her. Nina Zhang's eyes shone with excitement. Let's tell the counselor right now. This bracelet is worth over 10,000. She stole something this expensive. The school will expel her. Vivian Wang climbed down after searching and finding nothing else. Her expression was calm as she locked the bracelet inside her own drawer. Chloe Zhou probably stole more than just this one bracelet. Nina immediately understood, right? In the chat history, there were gold necklaces, earrings, rings, brooches, so many things. Vivian Wang sneered. Under the dim light, her delicate face looked especially sinister. Let's not alert her yet. We'll gather more evidence first, then report directly to the police. If the amount is large enough, Chloe Zhou will face criminal charges. She'll go to prison. Nina clapped excitedly. Yes. Send that bitch to jail. After Nina went to shower, Vivian Wang immediately took the bracelet out, snapped a photo, then quickly locked the drawer again. She climbed onto her bed, pulled the curtain closed, and wrapped herself tightly in her blanket. Then she began typing a message. Vivian Wang, Ethan Shen. Does this bracelet look familiar? It fell from Chloe Zhou's bed today. I suspect she stole Iris Zhang's photos to carry out that online relationship. After sending the message, she couldn't resist pulling the blanket tighter around herself. The weather lately was strange, sometimes hot, sometimes cold. I sat cross-legged in front of her, staring at her. Vivian Wang and I had been the closest. She knew me better than anyone. From the very beginning, she must have guessed I was innocent. Yet she not only refused to clarify things for me, she added fuel to the fire and smeared my name even further. Human hearts, often far more terrifying than ghosts. Minutes later, Ethan Shen replied. Just 2 simple words. Come downstairs. Vivian Wang froze. Then she immediately jumped out of bed, rummaging for clothes, touching up her makeup. Nina Zhang came out of the bathroom, surprised. It's so late. You're going out on a date? She leaned closer, curious. You've been hiding a boyfriend from me? Vivian Wang applied foundation while lying smoothly. Oh, it's that guy you met last time. Senior Chen from the club. He might be pursuing me, so he invited me for late-night snacks. Nina instantly lost interest. Oh, him? I remember he looks pretty average. I heard his family doesn't even have much money. Facing the mirror, sticking on false eyelashes, Vivian couldn't help sighing. How many rich and handsome guys are there in this world? Someone like Ethan Shen. We could never reach that level. At the mention of Ethan Shen, Nina collapsed into her chair in disappointment. The only sentence he ever said to me was, "Classmate, let me pass." In truth, I hadn't spoken much with Ethan Shen either. After everything happened, he had been the one to take the initiative to message me, to comfort me, and now, he was asking Vivian Wang to come downstairs. Those messages were buried among a flood of mockery, completely unnoticeable. I couldn't even tell whether he believed me or not. Or if he was just like everyone else, wearing the mask of comfort while secretly reveling in my misfortune. By the time Vivian Wang finished putting on her makeup, half an hour had already passed. She hurriedly changed into a dress and rushed downstairs. As she went out, She almost bumped into Nina Zhang. Nina pouted. What are you in such a hurry for? Girls should act a little reserved. What's wrong with making a man wait a bit? Vivian brushed her off with a few perfunctory words, slung her bag over her shoulder, and hurried away. Ethan, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. When you texted me, I happened to be in the shower, so I came down late. Although Vivian's family circumstances weren't very good, she was a proud girl. When she usually spoke to the boys, she always held her head high and her back straight. Since the semester began, quite a few boys had confessed their feelings to her. She had always responded calmly, without a ripple, yet in front of Ethan Shen, she appeared unexpectedly gentle. Perhaps he had been waiting for quite some time. Ethan leaned lazily against the wall. Under the dim lights, half-shadowed and half-illuminated, his handsome profile looked like a sculpture meticulously carved by an artist. When he saw Vivian, he straightened up. His dark eyes fixed on her. You're here. Vivian's face flushed instantly. Ethan led her to a cafe outside the school gates and deliberately booked a private room. Vivian stammered as she explained the situation. As she spoke, her eyes reddened. In the end, she burst into tears, wiping her face as she sobbed. Xiaoxue was really wronged. Every time I think about it, my heart aches. She suffered so much injustice. Ethan frowned, his fingers tapping lightly against the table again and again. For now, keep this matter secret. Don't tell anyone else, especially Chloe Zhou. No matter what, don't alert her. Vivian nodded obediently. Her tear-filled eyes gazing hazily at him. Don't worry. I definitely won't say anything. I want to help restore Xiaoxue's innocence. Ethan's expression softened slightly. With a trace of gratitude, he patted the back of Vivian's hand. Let's work on this together. After Vivian left the private room reluctantly, Ethan's face darkened immediately. He took out a tissue and wiped his fingers one by one, as if in disgust. Then he opened a video saved on his phone. In the video, Vivian was wearing a mask and a baseball cap, being interviewed by a reporter. She said lightly. She doesn't usually talk to girls. She says girls are narrow-minded. It's exhausting to get along with them. All her close friends are boys. Ethan turned off the video and opened another photo. It had been taken in a classroom. In the picture, a girl rested her cheek on her hand, gazing out the window. Sunlight poured over her. Black hair. Red lips. Skin so pale it was almost translucent. That girl was me. Ethan stared at the photo for a long time. Then he gently traced the face in the picture with his fingertip. Iris Jiang. I don't believe you committed suicide. Don't worry. I will find the real culprit. I will clear your name. Only at this moment did I realize something. It seemed Ethan liked me. A sudden ache surged through my chest, sour and sharp, spreading in a way I couldn't describe. The first time Ethan and I met was at the beginning of the school year. In a daze, I had rushed into the men's restroom and collided with him just as he was walking out. His face flushed red as he grabbed my arm and turned me around. I looked up and saw the sign for the men's restroom. I was so embarrassed I wished I could die on the spot. Later, I learned his name was Ethan Shen. He was my classmate. Every time I ran into him, it was always when I was in some inexplicably awkward or unlucky situation. Once, I was standing at the edge of the basketball court watching him play. A stray ball suddenly smashed into me and made my nose bleed. Another day, I was in such a rush to get to class that I forgot to put on a bra. The moment I walked out of the dorm, I ran into Ethan. Without a word, he took off his jacket and draped it over me, then lowered his head and left. In front of a handsome boy, I kept landing myself in one humiliating situation after another. I only wished the ground would open up and swallow me whole. Because I was so embarrassed, I began deliberately avoiding him. That faint stirring in my heart, that nervous flutter, it never faded with time, but now. It was already too late. I am dead. Yin and Yang are divided. The living and the dead stand on opposite shores. What once stirred faintly in my heart can only dissipate with the wind now, like drifting smoke in passing clouds. Hatred surged up inside me once more. I floated back to the dormitory and immediately sensed something strange in the air. Nina lay on her bed without making a sound. Though she held an iPad in her hand, her eyes were fixed on Chloe Zhou. Vivian stood in front of the mirror, humming cheerfully, clearly in an excellent mood. Chloe knelt on her bed, rummaging frantically. She stripped off all her pillowcases and blankets, then put them back on again. Hearing Vivian humming, she turned around anxiously and asked, "Did you take something of mine?" Vivian let out a cold laugh and shot her a glance. "What kind of brain do you have?" Chloe hesitated, as if wanting to say something, but ultimately held her tongue. She continued searching through her cabinet. Of course, nothing appeared. Her suspicious gaze swept back and forth between the two of them, but in the end, she said nothing more. Late at night, the dormitory fell silent. The three of them lay in their beds, each secretly calculating their own schemes. The curtains rustled as if stirred by wind. The ceiling fan above began to sway, emitting rough, creaking sounds. Chloe Zhou's bed was the closest to the balcony. Chloe Zhou anxiously threw off her blanket, climbed out of bed, and rushed to shut the window. But every window was already closed, locked. The realization froze her in place. Her face drained of color in an instant. I stood behind her and gently blew against the back of her neck. As my resentment grew stronger, so did my power. Chloe let out a piercing scream. She scrambled back onto the bed on all fours and immediately switched on her desk lamp. Vivian Wang turned over irritably. "Are you crazy? What are you screaming for? Why haven't you shut the window? The wind is so strong." Chloe's voice trembled. Her whole body shook like a Parkinson's patient. The window has always been closed." Nina Zhang suddenly sat upright in bed, her voice sharp. "What nonsense are you talking about? If the window was always closed, then why?" Her words stopped abruptly. Her eyesight was good. Chloe had turned on the light, so the room was no longer pitch black. Everyone could clearly see, the windows were shut tight. "Ah!" Nina screamed, scrambling off the bed with her hands and feet. She didn't even have time to put on her shoes. In sheer panic, she flung the door open and shrieked at the top of her lungs. "There's a ghost! There's a ghost!" The dorm's supervisor stormed in, furious. The three of them lowered their heads, not daring to look up. "It's the middle of the night. You've made so much noise the entire building is awake. What are you screaming for? There are so many of you in one room. Where would a ghost even come from? Show me. Where is it? Where's the ghost?" Nina stammered awkwardly, trying to explain. "The curtain. The curtain was moving. And the ceiling fan was creaking." The supervisor gave them a harsh scolding and warned that if they caused trouble again, their conduct points would be deducted. After the three of them returned to their beds and lay down again, I resumed my old trick. I shook the ceiling fan. Chloe trembled as she pulled out her phone to record a video. I immediately stopped. The three of them barely slept the entire night, clutching their blankets and shivering until dawn. The next morning, all three had dark circles under their eyes, so deep even concealer couldn't hide them. Nina bit her lip hesitantly. Could it be? Could it be Iris Jiang? Shut up! Chloe suddenly shouted. She committed suicide. What does that have to do with us? We didn't do anything wrong to Iris Jiang. Even if she turned into a ghost, she couldn't do anything to us. Her voice was loud, but no matter how one looked at it, it was obvious. She was all bluster and no backbone. That day, only Nina had an elective class. Uneasy and distracted, she hastily packed her bag and left. In the dormitory, only Chloe and Vivian remained. After a sleepless night filled with fear and shock, neither of them realized that the longer they stayed in this room, the more irritable and anxious they became. The dark corners of their hearts were like sponges soaked in water, swelling endlessly. Vivian walked to the door and even carefully locked it from the inside. Chloe froze for a moment. Her face darkened instantly. What are you trying to do? Vivian turned around and looked at her with a meaningful smile. I've been a bit short on money lately. Lend me some to spend. Chloe stared at her in disbelief. Are you insane? I'd rather throw my money into the water than lend it to you. Get lost. Vivian wasn't angry at all. She stood in front of the door, utterly confident. You're the one who used Iris Jiang's photos to date online, aren't you? I've seen you secretly taking pictures of her more than once. And you often sneak downstairs to pick up delivery packages, bringing the boxes up without opening them. You even tore off the shipping labels. Those boxes, were they the gifts you swindled from that man? Chloe's entire body trembled. She suddenly raised her head and glared at Vivian. Don't talk nonsense. I can sue you for defamation. Vivian sneered, full of contempt. Who are you trying to scare? If you've got the ability, then sue me. Do you dare? If this gets posted online, just think about the consequences. After all, Iris Jiang died because of this. The next person to be cyberbullied will be you. And your fate will be 10 times worse than hers. Chloe's face turned deathly pale. Why you? What evidence do you have? Vivian shook her phone slightly. On the screen flashed the image of the gold bracelet. In the end, Chloe reluctantly transferred 2,000 renminbi to Vivian. It was her living expenses for the latter half of the semester. After getting the money, Vivian was eager to go shopping. Chloe sat on the chair, her expression sinister. Her face was so dark it seemed as though water could drip from it. I hadn't realized before, our dormitory truly hid dragons and crouching tigers. Not only theft and fraud, but blackmail as well. I could feel the dark energy surging within my body. A voice roared inside my chest, urging me to tear everything before me into pieces. So Vivian had always known. She knew everything, yet she had stood by and watched as I was torn apart by cyberbullying. She watched my family suffer because of me. She watched me live a life worse than death. Bang, the glass on the table suddenly shattered. Chloe jumped in fright and rushed out of the dormitory, flinging the door open. She ran all the way to the campus convenience store. The warm sunlight and the bustling crowd finally made her breathe a sigh of relief. Chloe Zhou took out her phone and began typing, "Hey. Haven't you always asked me to introduce a girlfriend to you? There's a girl in our dormitory named Vivian Wang. She's actually pretty nice." I stared at Chloe's phone. The sunlight reflected off the screen and struck my body. Unlike the burning pain from before, this time it was only a faint prickling sensation. like being pierced by tiny needles. My strength had increased again. As soon as Vivian Wang had money, she immediately bought several beautiful dresses and a few more elegant everyday outfits. She wanted to approach Ethan Shen under the pretext of helping me, to leave a good impression in front of him. She quickly spent the 2,000 yuan. Vivian kept scrolling through her phone, adding items to her shopping cart non-stop. I blew lightly against the back of her neck, then leapt straight into her body. I possessed her. Now, I was Vivian Wang. This time, I asked Chloe Zhou for 3,000 yuan. Chloe nearly went insane. My family doesn't have much money. That 2,000 was all my living expenses for this semester. I admired my newly done nails, not even bothering to raise my eyelids. Don't you still have plenty of gold? That gold must be worth at least 100,000, right? Sell it. Once you have money, you'll have everything. Chloe hated me so much she nearly ground her teeth to dust. Fine. Just you wait. To destroy someone, you must first drive them mad. When the time comes, I will only need to give them a gentle push. And they will fall into an abyss beyond redemption, and my hands won't even need to be stained with blood. If a ghost carries human lives on her hands, then in her next life she won't be able to reincarnate as a human. She will be cast onto the path of beasts. These people are not worthy of staining my road of reincarnation. Forced into a corner, Chloe had no choice but to sell a gold ring for money. Before she pawned it, I used Vivian's phone to send a message to Ethan Shen. Ethan secretly followed Chloe and recorded the entire process. After filming it, he even paid to buy the ring back. In just one short month, Chloe had sold nearly all of her gold jewelry. Almost all the money she had received from flattering those older men ended up in Vivian's pocket. When I possessed Vivian once again and demanded more money from Chloe, she finally exploded. Clang! Chloe suddenly smashed a glass onto the ground. Shards scattered across the floor. There's no more. I've sold everything. All the money has gone to you. I shrugged indifferently. If there's none, then go earn more. Aren't you good at deceiving men? Trick another one. Chloe panted heavily. Her eyes flashed like lightning in dark storm clouds, gloomy and terrifying. After a long while, she rasped hoarsely, 5,000, right? I'll give it to you tonight. I scooped out a large spoonful of face cream and slowly spread it across the back of my hand, just enough for me to buy a La Mer set. TSK. You clearly have money but pretend to be poor. You're really not honest at all. That evening, Chloe asked Vivian to meet near the east gate of the school. I knew that place. There was an unfinished office building under construction there. Vivian had no suspicion. She hummed cheerfully while preparing to go out. Recently, her life had been extremely comfortable. Some of the money came from what I extorted from Chloe, the rest she had demanded herself. Vivian spent money like water. She never even checked her bank transaction history, so she didn't notice that the money Chloe gave her was far more than what she had asked for. Seeing Vivian about to go out again, Nina Zhang was extremely jealous. Tianqian, which rich guy did you hook onto? Senior Chen is really willing to spend money on you. Didn't you say his family conditions were pretty average? Vivian rolled her eyes. I used to think he was poor too. Turns out he's just low-key. He's actually a rich second generation. Nina bit her lip, envy and jealousy flickering in her eyes. As soon as Vivian stepped out the door, Nina immediately took out her phone and sent a message. Senior Chen, do you remember me? I'm Vivian Wang's roommate. Is your club still recruiting? I really want to join too. I lowered my head for a moment, then reluctantly followed Vivian out. After all, what was about to happen on her side was the main event. While Vivian was walking, I used her phone to send a message to Ethan Shen. Chloe Zhou was already waiting. The road grew more and more deserted as they walked. Vivian pouted and complained. Why so mysterious? Why walk this far? I'm exhausted. Chloe said coldly, you don't want other people to see what's between us, right? When the two of them entered the unfinished office building, Vivian finally sensed that something was wrong. She reached behind her back and called Ethan Shen. Chloe. What are you trying to do? Two figures stepped out from the corner of the building, blocking the doorway. Liu Zhou, and another thug from our village, Bo Zhou. Vivian Wang's expression changed instantly. At last, she was terrified. What are you people trying to do? Chloe Zhou snatched Vivian Wang's phone, powered it off, and hurled it far away. You still dare to make a call? When did you start contacting Ethan Shen? Speak. In a blind corner, unnoticed by anyone, a phone rested quietly against the wall, silently continuing a video call. Vivian Wang forced herself to straighten her back, trying to summon courage. Ethan Shen is pursuing me. You know what his family does, don't you? If you dare touch me, the Shen group won't let you off. Chloe froze for a second. Then she clutched her stomach and burst into laughter. Vivian Wang, do you think I'm some brainless idiot like Iris Zhang? On her birthday, Ethan asked you to go downstairs and pass her a gift. You swallowed that present for yourself and then went back down to tell him Iris rejected him. You think I don't know about that? Ethan pursuing you? It'd be more believable if you said he hired someone to kill you. Vivian's face drained of color. The deepest secret buried in her heart had been exposed. Furious, she pointed at Chloe and screamed, "Oh, and you're any better? I only lied. But what about you? You used Iris Zhang's photos to date men online and set her up. Ethan really likes Iris. If he finds out, he definitely won't let you go." Flames seemed to blaze inside Chloe's eyes. She stepped back and waved at Liu Zhou. Brother, go strip this woman's clothes off. You dare blackmail me? Just wait till I take nude photos of you. Let's see what you'll use to threaten me then. Worst case, we both go down together. Vivian screamed and tried to run, but Leo grabbed her. He grinned viciously, seized her arm, and with a few rough tugs tore her shirt clean off. Chloe lifted her phone and began recording, her face twisted with manic excitement. You dare blackmail me? Let's see if you'll ever dare bully me again. Vivian cried and struggled in despair, but how could her strength compare to two grown men? In no time, her clothes were stripped away. She collapsed onto the floor, naked, sobbing helplessly. Leo's lecherous gaze roamed freely over her body. Bo Zhou licked his lips and looked at Leo expectantly. Brother Leo, she's really fair. How about we have a little fun first? As long as it's not rape. We'll only get a few months at most. I've never tasted a college girl before. The two of them bared their teeth and advanced toward Vivian. She scrambled to her feet and turned to run, only to be seized again. Tears and mucus streamed down her face as she sobbed. Please, let me go. Chloe Zhou, I'll give the money back. I'll return it all. Please. Chloe snorted coldly, still filming. Vivian's struggles grew weaker and weaker. At that very moment, I attached myself to her body. Suddenly, I shoved Liu Zhou hard. He staggered backward. As he fell, I stretched out a leg and kicked him. He spun in midair and slammed face first onto the ground. 2 steel rods pierced straight through his eyes. Ah! Leo shrieked miserably, clutching his face and writhing on the floor. Blood gushed wildly between his fingers, quickly soaking his clothes. Chloe's eyes nearly split with rage. She grabbed Vivian's hair and slapped her twice. Crying, Vivian braced her hands against the ground and crawled backward. I slipped a shard of broken glass into her palm. "Don't push me." I said, "Don't push me." Vivian slashed viciously across Chloe's face. Caught off guard, 2 bloody gashes instantly appeared on Chloe's cheeks. She screamed in pain and fell to the ground. Seizing the chance, Vivian mounted her and struck wildly, face, body, wherever she could hit. "You bastard! Who told you to tear my clothes before? When you saw Iris Jiang being stripped, you were secretly thrilled, weren't you? You like stripping people so much? Why don't you strip yourself?" In no time, Chloe was stripped bare. Driven mad, red-eyed, Chloe snatched the glass shard back. "How dare you scratch my face, you bitch! I'll kill you." Vivian was small and slender. Chloe pinned her down and beat her furiously until she had no strength left to resist. Useless. Truly useless. A steel rod rolled within Vivian's reach. "Ah, it's all your fault. You forced me." The rod plunged viciously into Chloe's right eye. She clutched her face and rolled across the ground, screaming in agony. Vivian lay sprawled on the floor, her body drenched in blood. No way to tell which was hers and which belonged to Chloe. I inhaled deeply. The thick metallic scent of blood was like sticky candy, cloying, sweet, intoxicating, truly. An exquisite fragrance. Bojo stood there, dumbfounded, staring at the 3 figures writhing in a pool of blood, so frightened that his legs went weak. Just then, the wail of police sirens pierced the air outside. He froze for a second, then turned and bolted. None of them noticed that, in the corner, a phone was still quietly blinking with a faint blue light. Ethan Shin had not only started recording, he had pressed the live broadcast button. The footage instantly detonated across the internet. The live stream platform exploded. Countless viewers flooded into the room, hurling curses at Vivian Wang and Chloe Zhou. Even Nina Zhang, who hadn't been present, couldn't escape the storm. "Holy hell, I've just had my eyes opened. How can women this vicious even exist? My God. Iris Jiang suffered so much. I deserve to die. I even cursed Iris Jiang before. I really want to slap myself twice. Can't we just shoot these scum? Why is Iris Jiang dead while these people are still alive? I heard her mom shut herself inside because of this. Her brother even got fired from his company. Just because of jealousy in a dorm room, an entire family was destroyed. Iris Jiang died more wrong than Doe E. Reporters and media crews swarmed to the scene alongside the police. They surged forward, fighting for every angle to snap photos and capture footage. Chloe Zhou and Vivian Wang screamed hysterically, desperately trying to cover their naked bodies. The commotion was enormous. The area was packed tight with onlookers eager for spectacle. An older man forced his way toward the police car. "Officer, I want to report something. Iris Jiang didn't commit suicide. Those hooligans tried to harass her. She ran, and accidentally fell into the river." His words were like tossing an ice block into a pan of boiling oil. The reporters nearly shoved microphones down his throat. "When did you see this? Why didn't you speak up earlier?" The man hesitated, visibly ashamed, lowering his head. "I thought Iris Jiang was a mistress. Who would bother caring whether a mistress lives or dies? But just now, I saw my daughter's phone. That's when I found out she was wronged." I stood there, stunned, emotions tangled inside me. In the past, these were the same people who cursed me, who even wished for my death. And now they were the ones raging, screaming for Chloe Zhou and the others to be killed. They had no evidence. They had read a few scraps of news, real or fake, who knew? And that was enough to condemn someone. They called themselves righteous, yet were stupid to the core. Under the pretense of helping others, they collectively killed the innocent, and in the end, they could wash their hands clean with a single sentence. I was deceived too. Just like that, they transformed from perpetrators into victims. It was truly absurd. The frenzy in real life gradually subsided. The frenzy online was only just beginning. Enraged netizens launched another wave of attacks against Chloe Zhou and the others. Chloe Zhou's parents were swiftly fired from their jobs. Vivian Wang's family vegetable stall was smashed to pieces. Nina Zhang's family had been the most well-off. Both her parents were teachers. Soon enough, they were reported for accepting bribes from students' parents. In the end, they both lost their jobs. The thugs who had chased me that night were quickly arrested and sentenced without delay. Chloe Zhou, Vivian Wang, and Liu Zhou were all hospitalized. Chloe Zhou was charged with fraud, intentional assault, defamation, and other crimes. Vivian Wang was charged with extortion, intentional assault, excessive self-defense, spreading rumors, and false accusation. When they left the hospital, they would be facing nearly 10 years in prison. Not only was their future destroyed, their appearances were ruined beyond repair. Chloe Zhou even lost an eye. Liu Zhou received a lighter sentence, 2 years. But the steel rods had pierced his eyes. He would spend the rest of his life in darkness, carrying guilt in their hearts. Netizens began bringing fresh flowers to my grave. The tomb that had once been desolate now saw visitors every single day. Human beings are the most forgetful of creatures. When this matter fades away, my grave will return to silence once more. The guilt of netizens comes quickly, and leaves just as quickly. Before long, they will forget me, but I will never again have the chance to fall in love, to work, to live as they do. In the end, I am dead. I sat atop my own tombstone, swinging my legs. It was raining today. The cemetery was quiet. All that could be heard was the steady patter of rain striking the leaves. Mother and my brother have been doing much better lately. The sorrow etched on their faces has faded. Slowly, they will step out of the pain of losing me and return to ordinary life. His pupils contracted sharply. Then, in the next instant, they lit up with wild joy. Iris Jiang, embarrassed, I quickly withdrew my hands and turned to run. I'm not. You've mistaken me for the wrong ghost. Extra Story 1. This was my first time entering a women's prison. To my surprise, it was very clean. The female inmates were airing themselves in the yard. Among them sat a particularly burly woman smoking on a bench. Several others surrounded her, looking obedient and deferential, just like scenes from a movie. She must be the boss among the inmates. The woman who had once led people to the school to strip my clothes was now squatting beside her, attentively massaging the boss's legs. I took a deep breath, attached myself to her body, then stood up abruptly. Grabbing the boss by the hair, I slapped her twice across the face. Her cigarette flew from her mouth. The boss stared at me in stunned disbelief. The moment she came back to her senses, her face flushed purple with rage. I immediately left that woman's body, crossed my arms over my chest, and leisurely watched as she was beaten miserably in return. Life as a ghost is unbearably dull. When I have nothing to do, I simply wander into prison for entertainment. Extra story 2. Lately, Chen Peng's days have been extremely comfortable. The tigress at home had been thrown into prison. No one scolded him day and night anymore. Her 2 younger brothers were also behind bars, and her family hated her to the bone, cutting off all contact. No one visited her. Online, people cursed the tigress daily, but no one cursed him. After all, he had only made the kind of mistake every man makes. Iris Jiang had been so beautiful. What was wrong with him spending a little money? Besides, he had lost money and been deceived. If you think about it, he could even be considered a victim. In this society, men are always given more tolerance. That evening after work, Chen Peng happily went out for late-night food. After drinking until his head swam, he suddenly noticed a graceful silhouette ahead, a woman in a white qipao, cinched tightly at the waist. Slender, delicate. Her waist and hips swayed with every step, stirring an unbearable itch in the heart. Chen Peng wiped the drool from his mouth and followed closely behind. I led him into a deep, deserted alley, then stopped without moving. He chuckled and rubbed his hands. Beautiful little sister, out alone? Where do you live? Big brother can walk you home. I turned around and smiled sweetly at him. My home? It's in the underworld. Ghost, HH. In the end, I did not kill Chen Peng. I only made him lose his ability as a man. Every day, Ethan Shen reminds me that my hands are not allowed to be stained with human blood. I hadn't even told him I ran out today to look for Chen Peng. If I go back too late, he'll definitely nag me again. Thinking of that, I quickened my steps toward home. After all, someone is waiting for me there. End of the story. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like and subscribe to Love Stories with Lisa for more stories. Thank you so much.